Let's lower that volume, folks. Let's get that all the way down here. What's up? This is Sports Goofs number 123. I'm Francisco, joined by my buddy Charles. Once more, we got another show for you. We might talk about sports. It's increasingly getting to the point where we will not be talking about sports at all. So, but I think that might have been the trajectory a long time ago. We just didn't know it. You know, it just kind of formed itself that way. I mean, it's not like those guys in Always Sunny Philadelphia where they knew what their characters were going to be in the future. Like Mac always knew his character was always secretly gay, and like Dennis always knew his, or Glenn Howerton always knew Dennis was a serial killer. You know, so I think that's to the point where we kind of already knew that this show was just going to delve into just being, I don't know, we might as well just call it Goofs at this point. Andrew's not here for now. He said he'll be back for the second half because of course he's off doing his professional duties for college football. You know, and
he's special now.
Yeah, so he's...
we still suck.
Actually,
we just call it Suck Goofs.
I do have an article that I'm getting ready to write about hockey, so I do have something in the works for that. So I
will changed, man.
I will be putting that... Well, I mean, I used to do this, and then, you know, I went to law school, and that completely destroyed my life, you know? Before law school, man, I was doing hockey media. I was going to press conferences, doing that. I was in CrossFit. I was in the best shape of my life, man. I was lifting. I was a sexy beast. And then I went to law school, and it all went away. And look at me now, you know. But yeah. So we have that. We got this going. We got lots of stuff. You know, we got Prani's Hockey World. You know, you can get the
best of the best.
Oh yeah, and get the lowest prices. You got the biggest selection of all new products, lowest prices, biggest selection of closeout and prior products. Charles, they got lots of stuff. I'm looking to get a new hockey stick because I did a good thing. Okay, I was over at the rink right there in Tamiami Park, right next to FIU, just skating around. You know, I had an opening during the day while for work. Things are opening up this week because a lot of people are canceling here because they don't want to be here for Thanksgiving, you know. And last year's Thanksgiving wasn't that great, right, for a lot of people. So I could see why people are itching to see each other this year. Anyways, I was at the rink. I was skating around and other people were showing up. I was probably like around 6 o'clock or something. You know, sun's going down. And this kid, I don't know, he's probably like 14 years old or something like that. He looked like it. And he was skating around, and he didn't have proper hockey skates. He just had like inline skates or whatever, rollerblades. And he was skating around, and he had like this makeshift hockey stick that he made. Like a makeshift one, like it made out of like PVC pipe, and it was just like a flat kind of thing. Like I don't know how he made this. And it was pretty amazing, actually. So he was just kind of running around there, and I had my pucks and my stuff out there on the rink there, and then he was like, "Hey, can I whatever?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead, whatever. I don't care. I'm just sitting there resting." And so he's going around. And he wanted to see my stick. And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." My stick was kind of beat up old stick right there. I'm just like, "Okay." And he wanted to try it around, and he's like asking me about it. I'm like, "Yeah, you know, you can." And I was trying to tell him, "Hey, he's a pretty cheap stick. I can get him online pretty cheaply." And so like. But I think he was like starting to get into hockey. It seemed that way. He seemed like he was like really interested in it. I mean, he made his own stick. You know, I mean, who does that? Who does that nowadays? But he did it. And so he was like practicing around, and he was like trying to hit some slap shots and stuff like that. And then he comes back to me and says, "Oh man, it broke." I'm like, "Oh, you know, my little heart." I'm like, "Oh man, this sucks." And so he's still trying to, you know, mess around with like the broken PVC pipe and with stuff like that. And so like I skate around some more. I'm just there, maybe like 20 minutes or something. He's still there. And so before I leave, I'm like, "Hey kid, do you want this stick?" And he's like, "For real?" I'm like, yeah, just take it, whatever.
I'm trying not to laugh, but I just think of the Mean Joe Green Coca-Cola thing.
Just throw my dirty ass jersey, my dirty gloves.
Stick. I'm proud of you.
So trying to contribute to the game of hockey down here in South Florida. So yeah, I just gave him my stick. Just say, here you go, man. Here you go. Just tape it up the bottom. It's beat up a little bit, but at least it probably won't break on you as easy as PVC pipe. So there you go. That was my good deed. So I'm in the hunt for another hockey stick, and I'll probably get at Proddy's Hockey Roll. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. You see, now that's an ad read, people. That's an ad read, all right? A touching story to tie into it.
We're broke. That's why. We'll really have to. Francisco went to me and say, "Hey, how dramatic can you make this?" And I was like, "I got this." I tugged at the heartstrings because
Yeah.
y'all know that's how I do up in this business.
So I gave away my stick, and I'll be getting you one. Anyways, so we got that, and let's see. So there's some hockey stuff. I can get the Panthers are still hot right now. They still got the most points in the NHL to start out the season. Thus far, we're already a quarter into the season now, and they are literally the odds-on favorite to win the Stanley Cup, which is scary to me, Charles. This is really scary. I don't know how to feel.
Feel good.
I feel good, but I feel that there's this trepidation, man. There's just this.
Welcome to being a Tennessee Titan fan.
This is scary, man. How do you do this? How do you live with expectations like this? I mean, crap.
It's called you temper set expectations, sir.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. Heck, our head coach resigns. We're still doing great. Our best player Barkov, he's week to week with an injury. I mean, he's back to skating on the ice and practice and stuff like that. So that's good news. But he gets injured, we're still doing good. It's like, wow, what's going on? Sergei Bobrovsky's like amazing again. We got a top five. We got a top 5 defense. We got the number 1 offense. I mean, I don't. I feel so scared. I feel so. Some people are like the Stanley Cup, the Holy Grail, this thing that I truly want to see for myself with the Florida Panthers name on etched into it, and yet oh man, my team, this team, the one that here in South Florida, the team that people forget about until it's April or May, and maybe the Miami Heat get eliminated, and then people will pay attention to them, but they got to make it past the first round for once at least, and yeah, it's scary. They're 10-0 at home, and they're the 4th team in NHL history to do that. So now we're getting into historical levels of greatness, and this team is deep. The interim coach is picking up right where Q left off. I don't know. We have an ownership that's willing to spend, like right up to the cap.
You seem like you're in heaven.
Yeah, we've got the arena. We got the dormant fan base. That's I guess it'll be like locusts once if the Panthers actually go on a run. It's gonna be rats everywhere, man. Sheesh. Can you like? And this pleases me in a sense because I hope it happens. I hope the Panthers really do go on a Stanley Cup run because I want to see what South Florida looks like with a good Florida Panthers team and a shitty Miami Dolphins team. Well, I already know what's.
Well, it's basically the equivalent if there was a Miami Marlins winning a World Series.
Yeah, but like but I'm saying that because if the Panthers do win it, it isn't going to be like a one and done type of thing. It'll be like, oh no, they're going to try and keep contending year in year out. It's not like the Marlins where they'll just blow up the team in like a year or two,
Yeah,
Like,
they're not gonna just give up.
Yeah, exactly. So that'll be the thing, right?
How's Andrew's Tampa Bay Lightnings? Because they are back-to-back champs, and usually I never give much credence to the prior champs, but I gotta respect back-to-back a little bit. This is me who calls everybody a fraud, says it's not real, jumps bandwagons against teams that should be good.
Yeah.
You suck ass.
Well, okay, so like right now, we can do a like quick run through of the NHL right now. So Panthers are on top in their division. They're the Toronto Maple Leafs. Leafs fans are of course completely overbearing on their team. With the slow start and somebody threw their jersey on the ice. They're only 2 points behind the Panthers right now. The team got hot again. They're a good team. I don't know what to tell you. The only thing is they don't do good in the playoffs. The same thing with the Panthers. Same problem. They both have the same problem. They can't get past the first round. So there you go. And the Lightning are right there. They got 23 points. They're doing all right. I think they had another lull once the championship hangover. And remember, they got two of these, and they've been two quick turnarounds of off season. So I don't know how long the Lightning keep this up, but they're there. They haven't gone away. They're still there.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna completely shun them away already. The team is still pretty much intact. So that's that. The Carolina Hurricanes, another hot team. In fact, they have the same amount of points as the Panthers. Panthers beat them already the first time their one-on-one matchup this season. So we got that at least. So we've beaten them. But the Washington Capitals, they're still good. They're 2 points behind them. And New York Rangers are back. The New York Rangers have started off pretty well this season. And actually, the last couple of seasons they've been surprisingly all right. It looked like they kind of had that kind of sort of like a small rebuild, trying to get some
reload.
Yeah, a small rebuild, some reloading there. Henrik Lundqvist retired and all that stuff. So all that got they just transitioned to this new era, and looks like they're finally getting back into it. And then you got the Blue Jackets and the Penguins. They're kind of hanging around there. The Blue Jackets are surprising because it seemed like nobody wants to be in Columbus, Ohio, and yet the team still finds a way to kind of. They're a scrappy team. They're one of those teams. They're a pretty scrappy team. And the Penguins are there, and they got Crosby back finally, and we'll see what happens when they get healthy with everybody, him and Malkin and those guys. I don't think they're not going away anytime soon, but I don't know if their championship window has already closed by this point, and they're just kind of sticking around with those two guys until they retire. But yeah, so there's that. Western Conference, Panthers beat Minnesota most recently. They're leading the Central. St. Louis is right behind them by a point. Same thing with the Winnipeg Jets. Pacific, I haven't been watching much of the Pacific Division. The Calgary Flames are in first place. That's a surprise to me. The Edmonton Oilers are right behind them, and they should be, that it should be the Oilers' division to lose at this point, unless the Vegas Golden Knights can actually turn around. The Anaheim Ducks are third place in their division in the playoff spot, which is surprising to me. They're a rebuilding team, but I guess the first quarter of the season, maybe they're playing above their heads. I don't know. I haven't been watching Anaheim, so I don't know what's going on. I know Vegas is started off slow, where then they should be a championship contender, but I'm not entirely sure what's going on with them. Maybe they've had some injuries, and then you got the Nashville Predators, who are always hovering around there. Some teams that are just kind of starting off slow. You got Colorado, who should be better. Panthers beat them, but I think they'll eventually get it going. They've got a lot of games that to make up for, because other teams have played like 2 or 3 more games than them, so that should be rectified pretty soon enough, with the Avs taking their rightful spot. The new team, the Seattle Kraken, are not doing well. They are not replicating what the Vegas Golden Knights did few years ago. They are a bad team. They are 5-12, so they're just not good. They are the second worst team in the NHL right now, or third worst team in the NHL right now. So
I mean, I guess that's the upside, right?
they're not the worst
to be
team.
the new franchise and
they're not
not
the worst
be the
team.
worst.
They're not the worst team, but they're definitely not good. But
I just think of Letterkenny and the hockey coach. I don't know if you watch the show, but how he's just basically going to be trash everything. And in my mindset, I'm like, you're losing to a team that's just been born. A new infant baby.
So, actually, I forgot to put this wrestling game in the background here to put something there. I put a Fatal 4-Way there. Let's put I don't know. Let's make it let's make it a TLC. All right, Charles. We'll put in the SmackDown.
That's appropriate considering the fact that there is going to be no TLC pay-per-view this month.
Oh, so yeah, let's put some randomness here. Let's see, who do they started off with? So Batista, Big Show, Booker T, and Carlito.
That actually does feel like circa 2005 booking.
And it is. It is. This game is straight from 2005. So,
Jesus Christ.
Man, you are good. You are good.
Of all the things I could be gifted on in life, that, not for being smart, not for being intelligent, not for anything, not even for being 6 feet tall and a professional basketball player, nothing like that. It's just because I can just tell you what year a wrestling game was, not even intentionally, just incidentally out of all things. Do you know how depressing that must feel for me?
Yeah.
Just super though.
Well, let's see. Got a bunch
Mama,
of
I
guys
made you
here.
proud. Yo,
Uh,
Adrian, I did it.
who do I put in this, man?
All right,
Uh,
I'm gonna let me pause this game so I
yeah.
can. All right, so if you want to make this like a legitimate TLC, I think you keep the first three. Kurt Angle, I don't see him in a TLC match really, so
All
we'll
right.
skip that.
So
But you,
Bautista,
you
Big Show,
definitely
and
keep the
Booker.
other.
We leave those guys.
Well, you need a high flyer. You got
Okay.
powerhouse guys. You need a high
All
flyer.
right. So let's go down
Um,
here. We're going
I feel
down.
like Rey Mysterio is just going to be your perfect choice, or Jeff Hardy if Jeff Hardy's in that game
Oh,
before you
there's
have
Rey
five.
Mysterio. He's right there. So,
Yeah, you can put Ray.
okay. So we got Ray. Let me see, Ray.
Because I don't think Eddie Guerrero had died yet,
We got
so they didn't really give him the push until they could profit off of his death.
Batista. Let's see. Christian Eddie Guerrero's here, so there he is. Yeah, let's see. JBL, John Cena, Kane, Kenzo Suzuki, Muhammad Hassan, Orlando Jordan, Paul London, Randy Orton, Rene Dupree, Ric Flair, Rob Van Dam, Shawn Michaels, Shelton Benjamin.
You should definitely have Rob Van Dam in there.
Okay, all right. Okay. And we got, all right, starting off with Bautista again, going down the list. Big Show, Booker T, Carlito, Chris Benoit.
We can't support that, unfortunately. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
It's so weird, like watching his matches and appreciating his matches. For those who don't know, Chris Benoit killed himself, his wife, and his kid in like 2008. But you can't stop the streaming.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vince. Not this time.
Yep, and you can't stop the 2005 era GameCube and Xbox games and PS2 games. The Hurricane, Triple H, Undertaker, William Regal, and
I gotta think of who would be champ in 2005. So, and who would be the appropriate? We do not put Stacy Keibler. We don't advocate violence there. But no, Batista works, and I think you do Big Show as well.
All right.
Unless you want to just keep it towards one big menacing power guy, and then they have to get everybody else
Batista
into it.
No, we'll do this. We'll do that. We'll put this here now. All right. Match rules. Yeah, let's just put no limit and yeah. All right. Yeah, we ready. Oops. Come on. All right. So that's in the background. We'll have that going.
It will be better than any of the current booking that they've been doing now.
Ooh. Yeah,
Upset.
you were not happy
salty.
you were not happy last week. You were not
salty,
happy
bro.
whatsoever.
I'll tell you right now, I didn't even watch Survivor Series. Yeah.
Ooh.
But that's because the card was, lame sauce to Charles. So it's like,
Only adds more to your apathy right now. Okay, so yeah, so that's the rundown of NHL. That's what's going down. That's what's happening. That's what's going. So, anyways,
that's what's up.
let's go see. Yeah, let's talk about NFL. Right, we're like, where are we? We're about 20 minutes in. We didn't talk
Aaron
about
Rodgers lost.
well, well, let's get into it. So we're 20 minutes in. We didn't talk about it last week. The Miami effing Dolphins, man. Now they're winning. Now people are actually talking about, oh, what if they do on a run? They're not going to make a run. You know what's going to happen? It's exactly what's going to happen. I told this to Doug. They're going to finish 8-9. Watch. They're going to finish 8-9. Still be right in the same position where they're at, where people think, well, if we get a couple more pieces, we might actually have something. We get a couple of guys, surround some guys around Tua. We could win 3 more games and make the playoffs. That's exactly what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen.
Some guys with Tua. That's the thing. The guys who you surrounded just can't play ball.
Yeah.
Well, Fuller's not healthy. Devontae Parker's not healthy.
None of the receivers are healthy. None of them are healthy. Not a single.
Oh no, Jalen Waddle's healthy.
Oh yeah, but they don't use him.
It's useless. I'm just gonna say, and I'm not saying that coming daggers on Jalen Waddle.
And Gesicki's actually a decent tight end. They just need to utilize him in them. They just don't know how to utilize him. That's all. It could be a.
They do him enough. He's literally your leading receiver.
But he's the only guy that actually has a brain. On the offense, because I don't know if you saw that thing where he was like yelling at guys to get into right formation and things like that. But yeah, he's visibly frustrated with this team. And anyways,
the
yeah,
AFC East is winnable.
Well,
because the
and
Bills are
that's
frauds. And let it be known
yeah.
that I said that ish right when we were calling it. Did I not in the beginning of the season? I want my credit.
Yeah. So, oh no, we have receipts. We have recorded audio of it.
The
So,
bill is due to the Bills.
so yeah, Dolphins face the Jets. It's the Jets. The Dolphins won by a touchdown. They've
Concerning.
they've won 7 of the last 8 games against the Jets. Sure, and I.
Is that even a real rivalry anymore?
It's not. It's definitely no. It used to be back when the Patriots weren't dominating.
Back when y'all were just fighting over who's the best lover to Chad Pennington.
Yeah, yeah. And then it's like once the Patriots just won those initial 3, it was over. It didn't matter the rivalry between any other teams. It was just like, oh, can any of them stop the Patriots? And none of them could. None of them could. I think they all had their shots.
We might not be stopping the Patriots.
The Dolphins had a couple seasons there. The Jets had the Rex Ryan, Sanchez era that they for like a couple seasons, and then the Bills at the tail end with Tom Brady. But there's it really doesn't matter. Anyways, Joe Flacco is still in the NFL, everybody.
Joe Flacco actually is a competent backup.
So. Look at this. He's lost 14 of his last 16 starts dating back to 2018.
But I mean that's I hate those kind of stats though.
Yeah, I know.
Because look at where he was playing at collectively.
Yeah,
Denver, which was a bad team, and then the Jets. So like no, let's I'm not saying Joe Flacco is a guy that I would Brad Dilfer it out with, or Brad Johnson out with, or Trent Dilfer. Sorry, I merged them.
Yeah, you did. Well, they're basically the same guy, right? So,
I think people like Brad.
honestly, if you put Brad, I almost said this myself. If you put Brad Dilfer, if you put both of them in front of me and just told me their opposite names, I would be like, that's definitely him. I couldn't tell the difference between the two, you know.
So we talk about punchable faces. Is Trent Dilfer like a punchable face to you?
Let's see. Hold on, what he looks like. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what he looks like. He's on TV. That's right. I feel
I'm
like
not coming at it like a hater. I'm coming at it as a observer.
Him having that Super Bowl ring kind of gives him this sort of arrogance
False
in a sense. Exactly, where he has a Super Bowl ring, but it's only because he was on that Ravens team with like the amazing defense. That's it. That's the only reason why.
He's the only guy I know that you won a Super Bowl and the team didn't want to sign you back. They were like, "We'll take the chance with Kyle Bowler, thank you."
Yeah,
and I'm like, the kids were like, "Who?" Kyle Bowler was a not so good first round draft.
That is a player remember to forget. That is for sure.
He was either first or third.
All right, let's make him our player remember forget. You know, because I didn't even plan that segment, and that kind of that makes a lot of sense to put as someone because man, I haven't heard that name in forever. Let's go. What did Kyle Bowler do in his career? Where is he? What's he doing now? What's happened in his life? So Kyle Bowler, let's see. Let's go on Wikipedia here. Let's see. What school did he go to? He went to Cal, drafted in 2003 in the first round, 19th pick overall.
I was first rounder.
He's 40 years old now. I would have thought he was older, but okay, apparently not.
You get into the league so young, and you're out of the league so young.
Played for Baltimore in 2003, 2008, St. Louis for a season, then Oakland, and then it was on the practice squad or whatever with the San Diego Chargers, you know. So there you go. Let's see. What was his stats? Let's see. 48 touchdowns to 54 interceptions. 8,931 passing yards. A QB rating of a very nice 69.5.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And, yeah, there he is with the Ravens. Let's see. Gosh. I'm trying. The personal life, let's see. He married former Miss California USA. And then they had a child in 2011. He had a second. And I guess we don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing in his life right now. So there you go.
He's living that good life.
He's in a quiet life. You know, he doesn't have to put himself in front of the TV like Trent Dilfer does. You know, with that one Super Bowl ring. If he doesn't win the Super Bowl, Trent Dilfer's not on TV. I bet you.
Yeah.
I bet you he's not. Let's see.
So it'll be Rich Gannon. Well, Rich Gannon, I think, is already on TV, but
Yeah.
still spread that love.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. That's what I don't even know. That's all the stuff about Kyle Bowler.
Well,
Everybody.
remember to add on about Kyle Bowler is that he basically replaces Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
And then what occurs is that they're like, "Oh, Kyle, you're not doing it." Then they trade for my boy Steve Young.
Mm-hmm.
And then Steve Young breathes into a 13-3 year, and then of course typical Steve Young gets injured right after that, and that leads to the Joe Flacco era. But technically, they went for Troy Smith, and that was like disaster in a ball with that man, and it didn't work out. And then they're like, we're going to draft a certain Delaware quarterback that we just talked about, Joe Flacco. So it was the first ever player we never forget that came full circle.
Yeah, that's right. So here we are. Okay. So that's Kyle Bowler, everybody. And that's our talk about the Jets and the Dolphins. I don't want to talk about no more. The Patriots beat the Falcons 25-0.
It's not even fair. Why even put that on Thursdays? Can they just flex out? You know how they used to flex out some things?
Yeah, the
You
Monday
just be
night
like, "Oh,
games. Yeah.
this is not the game that you want to see on a Thursday, homie.
Yeah.
Trust us."
I mean, this was initially how Thursday night football was, right? It was just a bunch of crappy games that
I can never
teams.
say I've seen a good one.
Yeah.
Can't say.
I think it really is for teams that would never get a Sunday night or a Monday night game. And it's like, just put them on Thursday night and make them feel like they have a prime time game, but they kind of don't. And yeah, so the Patriots, they're in first place now. They're 7-4. Look at that. Bill Belichick gets a quarterback again, and I don't know. We're back to 2001, everybody.
All the dudes you spend money on.
Yeah.
There's a point to be proven is that with that talent that was so depleted last year, because it wasn't just offense they spent money on. They spent a crap ton of money on that defense too.
Yeah.
Matthew Judon, all that. But it goes to show big pockets matter, so quit being small change with some of these teams out there.
So,
And
Matt,
I just don't know who their running backs are. I know it's Damian Harris and then J.J. Harrison or whatever his name is, but that's what I'm saying. They just get dudes to be good everywhere.
Let's see. So rushing yards for that game, Damon Harris, 56 yards. Ramondre Stevenson with a very nice 69 yards there. There you go. So that's the stuff. But Mac Jones, he's joined Dak Prescott and Ben Roethlisberger as the only rookie QBs to win each of their first 5 career road starts. So there you go.
And that stupid stat man. I never got, like I said, it's like you're not personally playing all positions.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's just me being like, bless sports.
Mm-hmm. And Bill Belichick with 5 straight games. This one actually matters because it's like, okay, he's the coach. He's directly involved, right? 5 straight games. His longest single season streak as a head coach without Tom Brady. So there you go. And Matt Ryan is 0-5 in his career versus Bill Belichick, including the Super Bowl.
Can we just free Matt Ryan from the Falcons? They obviously do not have a clear-cut plan.
Oh, yeah, the Falcons are.
Poor guy is just subjected to such terrible pain.
Yeah, so he's there. And, yeah. Eagles beat the Saints 40-29.
Not even fair.
So Jalen Hurts, first QB in Philadelphia history with 3 rushing touchdowns.
Really?
Hold on, let me make sure this. 3 rushing touchdowns in a single game. Not overall.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I'm pretty darn sure Donovan McNabb scored a few rushing touchdowns.
I was thinking Mike Vick, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was there. That was his image rehab city, right? That's
redemption.
Yeah, exactly.
All that.
Yeah. So yeah, Jalen Hurts surpassed Randall Cunningham for the most games with 2+ rushing touchdowns among QBs in Eagle history. So yeah, the man is running. Mark Ingram, 100+ scrimmage yards in 2 straight games.
Yeah.
For the Saints. Cam Jordan, 4 sacks in his last 5 games for the Saints. And yeah. Oh, so there's Philly. They're 5-6. Saints are 5-5. They're there. The teams are there. Two other teams that are just there: the football team and the Panthers, 27 and 21. I have nothing to say about this game.
The return of Cam that got spoiled by Riverboat Ron.
Yeah, that was the only feel good story about that, right? Was Cam Newton returning, and it kind
But
of
then you lose.
yeah, well, but he scored. He got a couple there, so that was good. Uh, anyways, yeah, and they lose to Ron Rivera, right? His former the one that kind of gotten kicked out, so that kind of sucks. The Colts. Here we go, Charles. Here we go. Here we are.
All right.
Carson Wentz could score some points. Huh? I mean, I don't think he's been all right with the Colts. I keep thinking he's gonna die every game, but I don't know. It's just kind of his injury history. I feel like he's always on the cusp of of a catastrophic injury of some sort. But
Well, when you don't play real teams, it all comes easy.
oh yeah, that's for when the Buffalo Bills don't look like a real team anymore, huh? So
So I love it.
41 to 15. Man, the Bills have not. Jeez, they lose
Love
to
it.
Jacksonville. They're all go to Indianapolis. Or
Love
no,
it.
well, they were at home actually. They weren't going to Indianapolis. They were at home. They were at home. 41 to 15. 41 to 15. And then Jonathan Taylor had five
Yeah, that's
touchdowns.
fair.
Man,
No, I'm insulted. I'm gonna take this right here.
here we go.
People are trying to pull this whole Jonathan Taylor for MVP crap, but when I was calling that stuff for Derrick
Mhm.
Henry, so stop putting MVP to any guy just because they helped you win your fantasy game. That ish stops here. And we know Jonathan Taylor's a good running back. That's why Marlon Mack was left in the aftermath of irrelevance. And Carson Wentz, well, I can tell you now, when the game's on the line, he chokes. So, ha 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 ha. And I can speak that from how we just handed it to him a couple of games ago.
Mhm.
But stop it with the Jonathan Taylor stuff. I did say that the Colts were a legitimate playoff team. We have the benefit of being like 3 games up on them and then cleared them out in a sweep. So I'm not. I wouldn't want to play them because they're kind of like us.
They're
How
scrappy.
they're built.
They're
Yeah, they're
scrappy.
scrappy. They're built, and then
I don't think the
um,
Colts have ever given up on a game. They always
yeah,
seem to just kind of try and make something happen.
unlike the Buffalo Bills, who
Yeah,
this is a second part of feeling right because I had to put that Jonathan Taylor for MVP stuff to rest. Yes, I know. I know he is now the leading rusher, kids, and he will soon be. However, he only got to be in the leading rusher when the true leading rusher, the true king, was out, and that was
oh
three
yeah,
games later.
yeah,
Recognize my realness,
yeah. I know.
please.
Mm-hmm.
That ish I cannot take. As Gwen Stefani would say, this ish is bananas. Bananas. Um, but the Colts, they're not a team I necessarily want to play, and they also suffer from everybody's injured too.
Yeah.
So best of luck to them because I'm not too concerned about T.Y. Hilton, but healthy Michael Pittman along with some of the other guys that they drafted. I don't want that smoke. You know what I mean? I don't want that smoke.
Mm.
Even though we're built well defensively, I still don't want that smoke. But with the Bills, listen, this is where I'm going to get on my soapbox. I'm going to take the soapbox over the
Mm-hmm.
Bills. When I looked at it, I said, wow, they did not get a running back. And I like Devin Singletary, but Devin Singletary is kind of like the Darren Sproles effect of a player and how it worked with the Chargers many, many, many moons ago. He's your prototypical scat back, but you take into consideration Zach Moss didn't really wow anybody. I drafted Zach Moss last year. Keep that in mind. So I can throw that shade. I'm going to throw that shade. But they get anything, and then they're like, oh, we're going to give you Cole Beasley. I would say Michael Beasley. Horrors out of both players. But so we're going to give
He's
you Cole
back.
Beasley,
He's back,
who
everyone.
hasn't done anything, and then you have a tight end Dawson Knox. Okay, but you looked at who they were beating this year. It wasn't really anybody collectively great. When you're beating a Washington team that's erratic, when you're beating
Let
I'm
me
just trying to
see.
find this, when you're beating a Texans team that doesn't have Tyrod Taylor to start, and you're just going Davis Mills, some things don't kind of working together. But y'all want to harp on that and hold. You want to break bread on that and why your team's legitimate, and they might get it back, but they might cost themselves because they don't game plan properly.
So the
One of my
Colts have
best friends,
beaten this year. Let's see, where are we going
not
back
us.
here? Let's see, when was the start of the season? So they was it their opening game was against the Seahawks, right? So they lost. Let's see, they lost close game to the Rams. They lost to you guys. They beat the
Hmm.
Dolphins for their first win.
Yeah.
So there you go. They lost the Ravens in overtime. Then they beat the Texans. The Texans are bad. They beat the 49ers. Then they lost to you guys again in OT. Then they beat the Jets. Then they beat the Jaguars. Now they beat the Bills. So
And the Bills can't beat anybody who's a legitimate team. I'm still salty by the fact that people did not give us our credit for beating them. That's why I'm also additionally bringing that hate train to the Bills. I can live with them like doing well. They were great last year, partially I feel because it was like, oh hey, we have Stephon Diggs, and for some reason, no one wanted to cover Stephon Diggs. This year, people were like, we're going to cover Stephon Diggs. Yeah, it's going to make sense. We're going to do this. And now you're seeing the byproduct of it because they've already lost or matched all the games they lost last year this year, which could be concerning when you have a 7-4 Bill Belichick team. And I'll tell you now, we're losing to Belichick this week. I told you guys the Texas game was a trap game, but the Belichick team, they're not even the Patriots to me. They're just the Belichick team.
yeah,
Are structurally sound and they're just complete.
yeah.
So they're going to go a nice
They've got a rhythm going too. They got a good rhythm going. Because
it's fundamental football. We play that too. It's just we just can't do it with a 36-year-old running back, and that's why we waived him. So bye Adrian Peterson. But that's all I got on Bills. They're frauds. I'm not convinced.
yeah. So and like the Patriots, let's see. So they've and look at the teams the Patriots have beaten. So just to evaluate kind of the AFC. So they lost to the Dolphins. The Dolphins barely won. So that's part of their one game that it's like we should have had that one. It was that one. Then they go off beat the Jets. Then they lose to the Saints. They lose to the Bucks. Then beat the Texans because that's what everybody's doing. They lose to the Cowboys, and then they start getting on a roll, right? They beat the Jets again, so it's like okay, all right, they got the sweep there. But then they beat the Chargers. It's like oh, okay, that's a legitimate win, right? Then they beat the Panthers. We're just there; they were frauds. I got off that bandwagon. Then they beat the Browns, and then they beat the Falcons. And it's like okay, they're racking up some wins. They're racking up wins against teams they should beat.
Yeah, and that's the best.
Which is not what the Bills are doing. Which is not what the Bills are doing.
The Jaguars, man.
Well, the Dolphins did.
And I know I lost to the Jets and the Texans, but it's not really close yet in our division.
The Jets are good for like 1 or 2 upset victories per year. They're good enough for that. They always get 1 or 2 of those, right? But yeah, the Bills have not beaten the teams they should beat, and the Patriots have been. The Patriots have lost to teams they should have lost to, and they've beaten teams that they should have beaten. So that's what's going on right now with them, and then that puts them in first place because the Bills are not doing that. So that's what's going down. All right, moving on. Let's see. This game didn't matter. The Browns and the Lions.
Is Baker Mayfield just the most unlikable quarterback? You heard his what he put out there that he doesn't really care what fans think about offense and stuff like that. So to really segment it, because I'm not going to take the time to review Baker Mayfield, but he said something of that akin, and that how he was just pissed at himself for how the offense has been, and he's like, I don't really care about what fans think. I keep it to my teammates. And the Browns are the most like inconsistent team of how my optimism is for them or support of them, because when they drafted Baker, I'm like, yeah, I want to see good. I don't want them to do bad. And the following year, when everyone's crowning them, which quotes the best Delaney Walker quote, whatever, y'all want to crown him, but you still got to play the game. I was anti them. And then last year, I'm like, give it to him. Give it to the Steelers. Mess it up. And then now I'm just like, y'all want to crown them? Really? That's like my mindset. So they're really inconsistent, but they're doing him no good. But the reason why your offense sucks is because y'all can't keep with your dudes, and you're just too predictable to a degree, because if there's no run game, you're losing. And they're winning, it'll probably make the playoffs.
I mean, they're in a division that pretty much any of those teams can win that division.
Yeah, and the NFL has catered to your division to allow victories for all 3 of your teams to make it because of your franchise and players. But I'm like, man, is he just not likable coming into it? Because remember, he's trying to go for that extension, and it's about community sometimes, who you want to keep around people, because his body of work, you have one playoff game, you are the Browns, you suck. But if you feel that you can just go on the cheaper and get dudes and develop them there, why would you want to pay him $130 million for 4 years, 5 years? Especially
it really depends on
all these players.
It really depends on how they if they feel like they can run this offense with any other quarterback, then
Can't you? Realistically thinking, can you not already do that?
Yeah, you can.
Because it's And also, he's very hurt this year too. So the guy, poor guy, shouldn't be playing. It's the Carson Wentz, "Are you going to die?" kind of thing. And I don't
Yeah.
want that to happen to anybody. But he's all busted up. But really, if it's run the ball with Hunt, run the ball with Chubb, um, 3 yard slant route to Jarvis Landry, who I just want him to be traded to. I know that sounds terrible, but wouldn't you like? He's not doing anything there. He's not playing up to this final.
Jarvis Landry will get you numbers. He will get you.
Yeah,
He will get you yards. He's
yeah,
he's
but
he's solid and dependable.
but he's hurt, and Baker's not really go his way because he's like, "Where's Austin Hooper? Where's Austin Hooper? Where's David Njoku? Where's my running backs?" They're not really the first options, which I feel minorly gives some credibility to a certain running back, or not running back, wide receiver in LA right now,
Mm.
because we already knew Baker is the wet blanket with tight ends, but I don't know. It's the Browns.
Yeah,
We're not going to meet them.
and they're in the
playoffs,
north,
but
so they could legitimately win that division just by winning out the rest of the
I don't
divisional
know
games.
because a certain team, even without my MVP choice of the year, that's not Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson can still win.
They're in first place, so if they keep it together
What,
and
8-2, I think,
if
or
yeah
7-3?
they're the Ravens. They're
Yeah.
7-3 right now, so they're a game up on the Bengals at the moment, and of course that Steelers have the tie game that they have against the Lions.
With the
Like,
Lions.
that hurts them. So and then the Browns are there at 6-5, so they're still above 500. And look, the Ravens lost to the Dolphins, so that was a thing. Like the Ravens
Yeah.
are perfectly.
Thank you for that because that's what helps me.
The Ravens are perfectly capable of like playing down to their competition or just like having bad games. So there's a possibility that they could lose that division, but it's theirs to win at the moment.
I think we're all just anybody but the Steelers in that mentality.
I don't know. It would be pretty funny if the Steelers won that division with a tie. And one last hurrah for Ben Roethlisberger.
And I'm not really an anti-Steelers fan. It's just this year doesn't feel right because I think it's because how they've drafted. And when you try to be that historic franchise and give people money, and then when you realize your backup, your successor right now is Mason Rudolph and a Dwayne Haskins, who you don't even know what you're getting out of it, I would be kind of livid. I always look at teams who are not my own that I don't want them to succeed if they really just kind of pissed on the franchise a little bit. So that's why I'm always kind of like very anti to certain teams throughout the leagues in MLB, football, and basketball. I don't care. Basketball, I like seeing the same team suck. I know it sounds terrible to say, but every time that I see the Minnesota Timberwolves are doing bad, I'm like,
It's pretty
right in the world.
Yeah, it's like that's reliable, right?
I don't know how to explain it.
The Magic sucks. It's like, oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, it feels good, man. Like it feels good. All other sports, I'm like, that's why you get kind of excited for the Browns. You're like, hey, this is good for them.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's that other team, I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, like if
Oh.
the Sacramento Kings ever became good, it's like, well, what?
I mean, I kind of had Christmas came early for me when I saw Luke Walton. What was the first thing I did? I'm like, oh, Luke Walton's fired. Hey,
That's right,
because it's just the norm.
Yeah.
I need that in my life.
Yeah, Luke Walton.
Because you could only feel good about a franchise like dying, like when the Lakers went into the sucking years, not once but twice. Because there was a 2-year, there was the Luke Walton kind of era, and there was also the Mike D'Antoni, beginning of the end for it all. And you're like, it goes from there. But you want to see basketball is very weird, and I think everybody agrees with me. It's good for business when the best teams succeed, except for the Knicks. The Knicks were never really a good team in a franchise history, in my opinion. So there you go.
I mean, the '90s was like the best, like where the Knicks were legitimately a good team in the '90s. So
20 years later.
Yeah. So, but I know. Millennium kind of screwed them over. Anyways, let's see. 49ers beat the Jaguars 30-10. I didn't pay attention to that game, so I don't care. So we got the Minnesota. Minnesota. Here we go. Charles is about to take off those pants right now. Let's see. So, out in Minneapolis, Minnesota, rivalry game between the Vikes and the Pack. And Vikings.
Justin Jefferson's a beautiful, beautiful boy.
So here we
go.
So
gifted. He's still baby vessels for me.
34-31 over the Packers. Okay, Aaron Rodgers played the game. Second game back from the whole immunization fun that he had the other day. Okay. Throws 4 touchdowns, 385 yards. All right. You got all that. But hey, Kirk Cousins, 3 touchdowns himself, 341 yards, for 35. He had himself a good game. All right. And yeah, the insights here on NFL, just throwing out here all the stuff Aaron Rodgers like surpassed Drew Brees, tied Brett Favre, and did all the other stuff. But that doesn't matter, right, Charles?
You know what matters? Wins.
Yeah.
Y'all settle too much on your fantasy football love, and he ain't producing that dubs. And this time, he is 2 weeks away from the rectal ivermectins. 2
So
weeks out.
So and puts the Packers.
The team that can't close, who finally closed out. All is right.
The Vikings are so. It's.
I wouldn't want to play them. But I would love
if they
to
can
figure, if they know I'm going to win it if I get the ball.
If they can get their stuff together, they can make a wild card run. I mean, right now, I haven't even looked at the standings for the
that
NFC.
Team is
to be
fundamentally
honest,
sound. It's just bad coaching, plain and simple. And I like Mike Zimmer, but Mike Zimmer, you think about it. They've lost like games in the last minute, man. Mm-hmm. In the last minute, like multiple times, and sometimes
right now they occupy that sixth spot in the NFC, right? So and they're kind of toiling there with, like, here we go, New Orleans, San Francisco, even the Eagles, the Panthers are in it. Like that's where they're toiling at, because there's a clear separation between the other teams, right? You got the Cardinals, who of course we know your feelings on them. Got the Packers, and we know Charles' feelings on them. Okay. And we got the Bucks, okay, defending champions. We got the Cowboys at 7-3, and then the Los Angeles Rams at 7-3. So there's a separation, right, between the good teams, and then you got the other ones toiling there, and you got Minnesota. You got Minnesota right there. So the Vikings can sort of
a trap playoff team?
Yeah, they could. They could. Yeah, they could be one of those teams in the wild card round, especially if they end the season pretty hot that you don't want to face. You don't want to face like
Dalvin Cook if he can stay healthy, or Madison,
or Dalvin Cook gets stay healthy, and or keep some things tied down in the off the field. But yeah. So there you go. Anyways, so the Packers lose to the Vikings. Okay. And Jefferson for the Vikes, 8 receptions, a very nice 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. And so adding to that narrative, right, Charles? Adding to your narrative.
Yep. Adding to my narrative.
Yeah.
Winners win all the time. Guys who just get your points on fantasy football because everybody loves it, just get your points on fantasy football. And that's what it feels like. It's just, the fantasy football.
I'd even notice BU's comment here from when we were talking about Mayfield. Those progressive commercials cement Mayfield as not being likable.
Well, where's the lie, right?
I didn't even notice that, BU. Sorry about that. We're about like 10 minutes since you posted that comment, so I didn't even notice here on the screen. But yeah, I don't know why. Let's see. Oh, no wonder my chat's kind of closed here on my my software here. It usually is much bigger, so now I can see it. There we go. There's that.
I just wasn't fully paying attention to it.
Yeah, but I have them here in giant letters, but the window that had it was kind of was shrunk, so I didn't see it. So, anyways,
it's also like a triple threat match in my room because all my pets decided to come in because they were scratching at the door. I'm like, okay, how do I do this delicately? So it literally feels like a TLC of who could be the supreme dominant animal. Which is always great, because every show there's always an animal interference.
Yeah.
There's like my dog's barking, or the cat's like, yo, man. And I'm like, are you guys hungry, or do you want to give me love? Because you're animals and you're cats and you don't give a shit about me. You just want me to feed you because you own me, and I feel guilty.
Okay, we got the Ravens beating the Bears, 16-13.
Man, fire Matt Nagy. I feel bad for the guy, but you had it, and then you lost it, and you've already lost Khalil Mack. Justin Fields, they think, is the guy. I said Justin Fields is the second best guy, but you actually need dudes to kind of see that. We love David Montgomery, but you had that, and the last minute just disappeared. And then the Ravens winning with Huntley, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And good on
it was 7-6 going into the third quarter. It was like one, ugly game. And it's give the Bears gonna hang on, and it's like nah. So all right, so Ravens win. They pull out a win after losing to the Dolphins. They needed that. They needed to keep them separated from the rest of the division. Bengals going into Vegas, beat the Raiders.
Like the Raiders can lose throughout the entire season, and they're still winners just because John Gruden's not their coach anymore. So good for them. But come on, man, they had to sign Deshaun Jackson. Well, obviously, wasn't cutting it to replace the speedster that was Henry Ruggs,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just falling apart at the seams. And that's just how it is now. But
Yeah.
for the Bengals, I'm not scared though. I'm not scared of Jamar Chase. I'm not scared of Joe Burrow. I'm not scared of any of them.
No, it's not really that they're a scary team. It's just they're a team that is building towards trying to be scary in the future. They're still in that transition phase, right? I think that's how I see it with the rebuild. And then okay, now they're in a division that kind of allows them to stick around. And yeah, there we are.
To be fair, though, we did not really see what a full season of Joe Burrow would do for the Bengals because he was injured.
Yeah, I mean that was their fault last season. Yeah, so that was.
So I'll give them that. But
Hey, they're 6-4.
Bengals gonna Bengal.
I know, but they can
Like,
still finish like 11 and I keep forgetting the math. They can finish like 11-6 or
11 and
something.
6.
Yeah, so there you go. They can do that. So that's a possibility. 10-7. Just depends how they finish out with their division games. All right, so Arizona beats Seattle.
Both frauds.
Yeah.
It feels good. Feels good though. My hate boner is just intense.
So Russell Wilson loses 3. Here we go. Another one of these stats that you hate, Charles. 3 straight games in single season, first time in his career. There you go. Does he still have a hand? I don't know.
Yeah, overrated. Overrated. There, I said it.
All
Ain't
right.
no MVP. Never gonna be an MVP.
The
Trade him out.
Chiefs beating the Cowboys 19-9.
You talk about we were attacking the Bills for being fraudulent, but Cowboys feeling fraudulent.
That or the Chiefs are turning it on finally. You know, maybe they're finally trying again, which is they're perfectly capable of doing. I always felt that was kind of the way that they were going about this season. Like we'll turn it on when we feel like it. And it seems like that's where they're at right now. It's like, all right, Cowboys, all right, let's do it.
Screw around a bit, mess with people.
So that's what I think that's what's going on with them. So I'm not concerned with the Chiefs, especially in that division. No, they're gonna win it, so it doesn't matter.
But you know
They got the Chargers, yes, but I don't have. I mean, I want to see a little more from the Chargers, but they beat the Steelers 41-37 shootout.
Yeah, but they slept though. They don't have that killer instinct.
Yeah, I know. That's why I need to see a little more from the Chargers, right? 'Cause I mean, heck, I already labeled them as frauds on our group chat. So,
And they lost to Bill Belichick,
yeah.
and that's how you know if you're ready or not.
Mm-hmm.
If you can beat Billy.
Yeah.
You cannot beat Billy.
And then, how is this a Monday night game? Who puts the New York Giants on a Monday night football game?
The crooked NFL committee.
Like,
Trying to tell me that
you have the Buccaneers.
Jason
That's
Garrett is
all right.
good.
I get that. You got Tom Brady, and then you're like, oh, let's put him against the New York Giants for old times' sake. It's like, no, it's not old times. There's no Eli. There's nothing. There's no sort of like the Giants, the only team to beat him in the Super Bowl. Like, there's no reason for this. Who thought this was a good idea? This is like crap. The NHL did this with like the Red Wings and the Avalanche in their outdoor game, and it's like, yeah, but the Red Wings were like in the Eastern Conference by that point, and like there's no sort of, I mean, yeah, the rivalry was insane back in the late '90s, early 2000s between those two teams, where they're practically killing each other, heck, paralyzing each other literally, and yet then they put them in an outdoor game, and it's like, sure, I guess, but it doesn't make any sense. There's no animosity between the two teams. Like, it's completely the rivalry was dead. It was there for a magical moment for about a decade or so. Then the Red Wings moved to the Eastern Conference. That was over. Okay, Patrick Roy retired.
Saquon Barkley. Overrated. Just put that right there.
Ooh.
Don't pick up that option.
Yeah. So,
I don't care if he came back from an injury. How much leeway should we give you? You know, if you're trying to perform.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The New York Giants they're not good. Jones is not a good quarterback.
They fired Jason Garrett, though.
Yeah, well,
think that will solve the problem.
No,
I
yeah.
think anybody who is not a fan of halfback dive, slants, halfback dive, fumble,
I think
punt are
New
going to be
York
very
Giants fans are kind of uh, they they're lamenting the fact that they were so hard on Tom Coughlin and Eli. It's like
BU says TVX executives wanted the viewership from the New York markets. Well, that's
yeah,
true.
yeah. No, he's completely right. He's completely right. But I mean, how many people? Well, I can't say that. For sure, there's a bunch of morons that are watching the New York Giants in New York. Well, much like there's a bunch of morons watching the Miami Dolphins down here, and so I get that, but I definitely did not. I was not going to pay attention. I knew that
I watched Cowboy Bebop, so
like,
that's my answer to you.
like
I went to the most anti football thing. I'm like anime.
like New York Giants do not get me up in any sort of way at all. At all. There's no matchup for the New York Giants that like this season. You can put them against any team. I do not care who they're facing. I will not watch that game. They're just there. They're just a team that's there. There's just a team there. I don't know. And man, so that was that. And the Broncos and the Rams had bye weeks. So there you go. And yeah. So I forgot to see the NFC. We saw the NFC standing with the AFC. It was like, so you got your Titans still in first place.
Losing don't matter.
Yep. Baltimore.
Trap game. Everybody wants to throw some hard trash at me. I'm like, damn.
Baltimore leads their division. The Patriots do too. The Chiefs are righting the ship once more. Then you got the Bengals and the Chargers and the Bills, and then you got the Steelers back there, and the Colts and the Browns, and heck, even the Raiders and the Broncos.
So what you're saying is
and the Broncos feel like they might do a thing, and then the Dolphins are over there at 4-7. People might want to believe in them. That's so stupid. They do not know. I have learned the error. I've learned my ways now. 20 years later, Charles, I'm not believing in anything that this Dolphins team is going to do. They are not going to go on a run.
Believe it when the season's over and if they're in the playoffs.
That's literally my criteria right now. At this point, I'm so done with this team. I am so done with this team. Okay, I got a good hockey team. I got a good basketball team. So I'm okay.
Are you still? I thought you were loyal to your boy.
The Seminoles could beat the Gators this weekend, right? You know, even though I'm a Bearcats fan, we all know this, but still, that could happen. You know, they fired Mullins, which, you know, kind of gave me a hard on. Especially because he left Mississippi State for them. You know, that's where my brother-in-law went. And, you know, Mississippi State's doing all right. And yeah, the Gators are trash. So, you know, I'm very pleased with the situation going on there. Anyways. All right, so we are. Has Andrew indicated if he's popping on yet?
I have not gotten anything from him.
I have not checked. Okay, so we are about 2 minutes out from the halfway point. I think I got one small segment that I did actually write out here. So we did do a Player Remember Forget, so that was cool. That was unexpected.
It was a full circle player.
Yeah, Kyle Bowler, right? A name I legitimately forgot he existed as a human being. But he's good. He's laying low. He's laying low in his life, and that's a good thing.
Oh,
right?
Bearcats are in the top 4, so Andrew's gonna come kick him door down.
Holy oh, damn, son. That's gonna be awesome.
And then
here we go.
Next week, and all this means nothing.
Oh, yeah. Then I will jump off the bandwagon. I am not.
You doomed them. It's bound to happen. Hear it here first, kids.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Andrew says he'll be on in a second. Literally, it's kind of like
yeah,
it's coming.
So Andrew's coming. All right. So we're gonna have some fun. I'll wait for the non-sponsor. Yeah, exactly. I want him to pop on here.
All right, so then I'll take the reins for a second here on it. So, are you still on that Green Bay Packers bandwagon now, bud?
Oh no, I left immediately once Aaron Rodgers was immunized.
so we're
I can't stand behind this guy, and it's not because it's nothing like you know me. I'm like you. It's nothing political and stuff like that. I don't give a shit. But like it's just like I can't have
We
a
just don't.
quarter. I can't have a quarterback doing these shenanigans while trying to win a Super Bowl. I've seen the last four NFC championship games. This is not going to go well. So I have yet to hitch myself to a new bandwagon, and I'm
I mean,
still
I have a suggestion.
okay. All right.
Considering the fact that we've mentioned them already, and considering the fact that we've mentioned Sonny numerous times the last couple of episodes, including who would be me in our live action casting, you should be an Eagles fan, just so
I
you can
should
be
be an Eagles.
aversive. I just want you to say "Fly Eagles Fly."
Fly Eagles fly.
You know, Jalen Hurts bucking the trend. You could just, I can literally see the inner Philly in you. He's just bucking the trend. No one thinks he's a starting quarterback, but he rushed 3 touchdowns.
Birds! Birds are back, baby!
I need this in my
Go
life.
Birds! Ooh, yeah. I should look at some of those, like, not some of these teams leading the division. I can't do that right now. All right, I did it with the Packers, and then stuff happened. But like, I need to pick one of these teams that's like
Oh, Rob
toiling
Van
right
Dam won the
there.
TLC
You got them
match.
6-5. Oh yeah, one of those 6-5 teams. You know, just
I just
someone
also want
there.
to hear you say the coach's name because his name's like Sirianni, but I want you to give your best like Philadelphia accent.
Sirianni.
Sirianni!
Sirianni.
Lift your shirt up. Come here, Sirianni!
Yeah.
You go, coach!
I mean, it makes sense. My aunt lives in eastern Pennsylvania. You know, my cousins live out there. A bunch
Jesus
of Eagles
Christ, we made
fans.
it come
Or
true.
I could.
can't.
I think. You know what? You know what? We'll officially designate the Eagles. I'm on their bandwagon right now. Let's just do it. I've been watching a ton of.
Everybody
I've
likes
watched the
Donovan
last 3
McNabb.
seasons of Always Sunny because I'd missed out on the last 2, so I'm all caught up again.
There you
So
go.
I feel like it's appropriate right now.
Everybody, of course, likes Donovan McNabb and Andy Reid. That's a legacy.
Oh yeah,
You know, it's fine.
yeah.
The
No,
only
I
person who
always
didn't like
thought that.
Donovan McNabb is Philly fans.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I always thought it was so unfair. It was so unfair to him. The man was a legitimate Hall of Fame quarterback that they had for years. Got them to a Super Bowl. You know, of course,
5
almost
NFC
won the
championships.
yeah, almost won the damn thing. You know, Andy Reid, the same thing. You know, To was service was was good enough for a season before he went all full diva again. But yeah, Philly, let's do it. Let's go. Fly Eagles fly. Eagles. Eagles.
Plus, everybody loved, Brian Westbrook. Takeo Spikes, I believe, was there for a bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Reggie White was there, right?
Yeah, Dawkins as well.
Yeah, they got some history.
Brian Dawkins.
They got some
There's-
history.
there's some-
They've
there's
won
some
a Super
legitimate
Bowl.
dudes
They've won a
alike.
Super Bowl in the era of color television. You know, I know I see more Miami Dolphins games from the Super Bowl era that were shot in black and,
And
white.
they did have the Philly special now of Nick Foles, and
Yeah.
we were revering that. We were loving that.
Yeah. So I think Andrew's popped on here. Are you here, Andrew?
Yo,
Hey, man. How about them Bearcats?
I'm hoping that this isn't just going to be a double switch or some shit.
Well,
Called it.
okay, all right. We're gonna do the non-sponsor. We're waiting for you to pop on here. We'll do our
Okay.
non-sponsor. We're about to enter the second half of the show, and then we'll get into that, and then we'll do our Thanksgiving stuff and the cage and all that stuff. We already talked about the NFL. We didn't talk about LeBron and the suspension or anything like that. I talked hockey for a bit too, but yeah, we're here. Let me get the graphic on the screen here. So we actually did a play remember forget that was legitimately pretty surprising.
Ooh,
So
who was it?
Kyle Bowler.
Bowler.
I almost forgot his name already. Kyle
Wait, who?
Bowler. Exactly.
Former Ravens quarterback.
A
We
former
brought it full
went to
circle.
Cal. But yeah.
I
Wait, was he there
honestly,
before Aaron
I-
Rodgers got there? I think was he the
Yeah.
one before, and then Aaron Rodgers took over.
Well,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was before my time of getting into college football.
yeah.
Basically, anything outside of FSU prior to 2010, I don't know anything about, more or less.
Okay. So, all right, player. Gosh darn it. Freaking We're from non-sponsors, people, places, things, concepts, what have you, that we have been enjoying over the last week. I think Andrew started last time. I think I could start this time. Okay, guys, because I've been listening. So my non-sponsor this week is a comedian, once more, Bill Burr.
Man,
Huh? Yeah. Bill Burr.
talk about angry comedian right there for you.
Yeah. Oh no, and he's a huge sports fan. I like his comedy. I like what he does. Okay, he's got his own podcast, Monday Morning Podcast. He talks about sports, gives out his own life advice and stuff like that. He's an angry guy. He's legitimately very angry guy, but
We're angry guys.
You know, he tries to soften his edges as well, and but he knows he has a problem. He's always on here. What is this thing he has here about One Punch Man? Did he actually do a voiceover in One Punch Man? If that's the
I know
case,
he was in The Mandalorian.
yeah. I mean, he's in a lot of things now. He is in a lot of things. He was in King of Staten Island. He was actually pretty good in that as well. He's got the F is for Family, which I didn't really get into on Netflix. I mean, maybe I might give it a second chance. Maybe I just didn't watch. Maybe it gets better along the way. Not sure. So I'll watch that. But was he in One Punch Man? I gotta figure that out now, man. Because I gotta figure out what
really
episode
can't
he's
see
in.
him being on One Punch Man.
I mean, he's bald. I mean, he
Unless
had.
you're doing the comparison.
I don't know. I gotta. Bill Burr, One Shot, One Punch Man. What the heck? Is he into anime? If this, oh wow, oh no, he probably did a voiceover in One Punch Man for the dub. Okay, all right.
Is it like a? I will have to inquire further.
Yeah, no, I will research that on my own and see if he did a voiceover and a dub for One Punch Man. If so, I want to know what character he voiced over. All right, so there you go. Because he's got a very